Hi, and welcome to Culture Lit, a podcast and community that explores Black women and romantic love through the lens of romance novels. I'm your host, Octavia Marie. Each episode of Culture Lit shines a spotlight on a new Black romance novel and then deep dives into the many themes facing Black women and love after 40. Be ready to laugh, sigh, and talk about Black women falling in love, yes, sex too, and the Black authors writing their stories. Hey, beautiful, and welcome back to Culture Lit, the podcast where Black women's love stories, healing journeys, and cultural brilliance take center stage. I'm your host, Octavia Marie, and today we're talking about wellness, the messy, complicated, politicized, and deeply personal journey of figuring out what feels good in your body and your life. And because this is still very much a romance podcast, I'm also sharing the Black romance books I'm most excited about for 2026. Have you ever made a decision, a big one, and then weeks later found yourself thinking, wait, did I actually do that? That's been my experience lately. My heart knows what to do. My body moves. I take action. And then my mind catches up days or weeks later, still processing what just happened. I quit my job. I booked my residency visa appointment at the consulate. I committed to projects that scared me. I said things out loud that I'd been thinking quietly for years. And each time there's this moment of, did I really just do that? Maybe it's the fast pace of the world we live in. Or maybe it's because I'm finally learning to trust my instincts over my anxiety. Either way, I'm realizing that sometimes you have to act first and understand later. There's something about the turn of a new year that I've always loved. It's that energy of possibility, a blank slate, a fresh start, the hope that this time things might be different. I've always been drawn to wellness, not the Instagram influencer kind with expensive supplements and juice cleanses, but the deeper question, what does it actually mean to feel good, to be whole, to move through the world with energy and intention? But here's the thing. I'm also deeply skeptical of wellness culture, the diet industrial complex that profits from our insecurities, the fat phobia that masquerades as health concern, the lack of nuance, the absence of a holistic lens that considers mental health, systemic barriers, and the realities of living in a body that's been through something. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you know my body has been through something. I completed treatment for colorectal cancer in 2023. 3 major surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation. One of those surgeries pushed me into surgical menopause at 52. And now I'm navigating what it means to live in this new body, post-cancer, post-menopause, with a heightened awareness that the disease could return. Nutrition has become central to my recovery, not in a restrictive way, but in a what does my body actually need to thrive way. I'm learning what gives me energy versus what depletes me, what supports my gut health versus what inflames it, what helps me sleep versus what keeps me wired. It's a journey, and honestly, I'm still catching up to some of the decisions I've made along the way. Therapy has been one of the most valuable tools in my healing, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. For so long, I had an inner critic that spoke to me with a cruelty I would never direct at someone I love. The voice that said I wasn't doing enough, wasn't being enough, wasn't enough, period. My therapist helped me shift from that harsh self-judgment to something gentler, to curiosity instead of condemnation, to asking what's happening here instead of what's wrong with me. It's been transformative and bittersweet. Because in letting go of old beliefs about who I should be, what I should want, how I should move through the world, I've had to grieve the parts of myself I used to be. I've learned that life isn't binary. It's not right or wrong, good or bad, success or failure. It's nuanced. It's murky. It's both and instead of either or. 2023 was my year of endurance. Chemo, radiation, surgeries, grief, exhaustion that went bone deep. But it was also the year I stopped waiting for permission. I followed creative impulses.
I said no to things that didn't serve me. I embraced a new identity, not the one I planned, but the one I became. 2024 and 2025 have been about integration, learning to live in this new normal, figuring out what wellness actually means for me now. And part of that has been defining it on my own terms. So what is wellness to me right now? It's the balance between movement and rest. And y'all know I take my rest seriously. It's making choices that align with my values, not what diet culture tells me I should do. It's breath work, quite literally learning to breathe more fully, more intentionally. It's being eager to learn while staying skeptical. Because here's the truth, I'm fascinated by wellness, but I refuse to be naive about it. I'm concerned, actually I'm frustrated and exhausted that wellness has become so politicized. The Make America Healthy Again movement has taken health and turned it into a binary. Either you're with us or against us. Either you believe in modern medicine or you believe in holistic healing. Either you trust the system or you reject it entirely. But that's not how life works. That's not how bodies work. Modern medicine saved my life. Full stop. Chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, these interventions gave me a future. And daily medication has brought people I love out of despair. It's allowed them to breathe again, walk again, see light again. It's given them the stability to then make better choices about nutrition, movement, and self-care. But I'm also deeply concerned about our food systems, the chemicals we're putting in our bodies, the plastics entering our bloodstream, the pollution and oxidative stress of simply existing in this world. My brain fights with itself constantly about how to navigate this space, how to be informed without being fearful, how to be critical without being cynical, how to advocate for change without shame or judgment. During my 3 months in Portugal, I had this sobering realization. We have a problem, not just in America, but globally. We're sick, we're tired, we're in pain, physically, emotionally, mentally. We don't get enough sunlight. We sit too much. We're disconnected from our bodies and from each other. We don't even breathe properly most of the time. And I say this with the deepest compassion. Many of us are sad. Even more are scared. Here's where I stand, and I'm not budging on this. Health should not be political. Healthcare should be equitable. Everyone deserves access to healthy food, clean water, and accurate information about their bodies. Women in midlife should have real, evidence-based information about what's happening to them, not silence and shame. We shouldn't be poisoning ourselves unwittingly while corporations profit. These shouldn't be controversial statements, but here we are. So how do I move forward? With intention. I've embraced planning not as restriction, but as a tool for joy. Meal prep isn't about deprivation. It's about having nourishing food ready when I'm too tired to cook. Scheduling movement isn't about punishing my body. It's about feeling good in it. Spontaneity is beautiful, but preparation doesn't diminish authenticity. It enhances it. For the first 3 months of 2026, I've set specific intentions, understanding my energy patterns throughout the day, moving my body 4 times a week in ways that feel good, reevaluating my habits quarterly instead of annually, prioritizing rest as a non-negotiable. Notice what's not on that list? Weight loss, inches lost, look in a certain way. These goals are about how I feel, not how I look. They're about optimizing my energy, not shrinking my body. I know data can be complicated. For some people, tracking is empowering. For others, it's triggering. I'm not particularly obsessive, so occasionally checking my metrics and seeing what impacts them has been helpful. But I also know that for people prone to obsessive thinking, tracking devices can create harmful loops. My advice? Use data intentionally, but only if it serves you. And if it stops serving you, put it down. Hey, romance book lovers. It's your host, Octavia Marie, and I've got something exciting to share with you. You already know how much I adore Black romance books. Now I've taken it to the next level.
Introducing Culture Lit Podcast digital bookstore on bookshop.org. Visit bookshop.org/shop/Culture Lit Podcast. That's bookshop.org/shop/Culture Lit Podcast. This is the spot where you can find every swoon-worthy romance novel I've ever raved about on the podcast and so much more. Not only can you snag your next favorite read, but every purchase supports independent bookstores and celebrates the voices of Black authors in romance. It's a win-win for readers like us who love keeping the Black romance literary community thriving. Thank you for being a part of the Culture Lit Podcast community, and happy reading. I can't wait to hear what books you fall in love with next.
All of this, the wellness journey, the skepticism, the intentionality, it comes down to one thing. I'm choosing joy, not toxic positivity, not pretending everything is fine when it's not, but actively, intentionally, fiercely choosing the things that bring me joy. And you know what brings me joy? Romance novels. They always have. They're my escape, my education, my inspiration. They show me what's possible. They remind me what I deserve. They make me believe in happy endings, not just for fictional characters, but for myself. So for 2026, I'm leaning all the way into that joy. Pure, unadulterated, unashamed joy. And that means being very intentional about what I'm reading. Here are the books I'm most excited about for 2026. Now, I'm starting this list a little differently because the first book I want to talk about isn't a romance. I know, stay with me. But this one is special because it's written by someone I had the privilege of working with early in my PR career, Amy DuBois Barnett, former editor-in-chief of Honey Magazine and Teen Vogue. Amy is brilliant, and I cannot wait to get my hands on her debut novel, If I Ruled the World by Amy DuBois Barnett. This is a fast-paced, juicy peek behind the curtain at the cutthroat world of hip-hop music and the glamorous magazine scene of the late 1990s, and it's written by the ultimate insider. It's 1999. Nikki Rose is the only Black editor at a prestigious fashion magazine, and she's been told one too many times that Black girls don't sell magazines. So she walks away and takes over Sugar, a struggling hip-hop music and lifestyle magazine with untapped potential. Nikki has 6 months to save the magazine and her own dreams. She pulls all-nighters, parties with the era's most influential bad boys, and navigates the wealth, decadence, and debauchery of a world she's never experienced. Her most dangerous challenge? Evading Alonzo Griffin, her very married, very powerful ex-boyfriend and former boss, who's determined to destroy both her and Sugar. Along the way, Nikki leans on loyal friends and navigates unexpected romances that force her to reckon with what and who she truly wants. This is a smart, immersive romp through one of the most dynamic eras in pop culture history. It's about ambition, friendship, love, and finding your own voice. I'm here for all of it. Second Time Around by LaQuette. Y'all know I love LaQuette, and this second chance romance has everything I want. Janae Sanders is wary of love after divorce. She's focused on her son James and her besties in the savvy, sexy, and single club. Romance? Not today, Satan. That is until Adam Henderson, her high school heartthrob, crashes back into her life at their 20-year reunion. Sparks fly immediately. But just when Janae considers dating again, she discovers that Adam, now the new superintendent, has slashed her son's beloved arts program. Instead of getting her groove back, Janae gets her protest on. Adam is juggling a meddling father, school politics, and, unbeknownst to him, Janae's fury. When they both realize they've been dating the enemy, Janae gives Adam 2 choices: restore the program or lose her. Adam proposes a third option: one weekend at his cabin to talk it all out, the funding, the old feelings, everything. Armed with sass, sarcasm, and a suitcase full of emotional baggage, Janae and Adam discover that sometimes love shows up in the most infuriating and unexpectedly sexy ways. This is exactly the kind of grown folks romance I need. The Bridge Back to You by Rhys M. Neilson. Exes inheriting a restaurant together, say less. Olivia owes everything to Celia's place. It's where she learned to be a great chef. It's also where she first fell in love with Carmelo, whose mother owned the restaurant. But at 19, Olivia had a wanderlust she couldn't deny. And Carmelo couldn't leave Celia's place behind any more than he could force Olivia to stay. 10 years later, Olivia is a successful personal chef who's never stayed in one place for too long. When both she and Carmelo inherit shares of Celia's place, he plans to buy her out quickly and painlessly. Except Olivia shows up ready to help run the restaurant. She finally has a chance to stay in one place, build a home, and explore whether that home can be with the one who got away. Carmelo has other plans. He's trying to drive Olivia away so she'll sign over her shares. But sparks begin to fly. Can they avoid the mistakes of the past? This emotional, sparkling romance about second chances and finding home has me completely hooked already. Score by Kennedy Ryan. Listen, Kennedy Ryan could write a grocery list and I'd pre-order it, but this, the second book in her Hollywood Renaissance series featuring Monk and Verity, I've been waiting for this. You never forget your first love. Verity Hill knows this intimately. She didn't just miss Wright Monk Bellamy when they parted ways in college. She's been haunted by his touch ever since. Every kiss, every lover. It's all been a shadow of what they had. Monk doesn't believe time heals all wounds. He wasn't simply betrayed when he and Verity split. He was devastated, with parts of him left behind in the ruins. More than a decade after their disastrous breakup, they must work together on an epic Harlem Renaissance biopic. With Monk creating the score and Verity penning the script, there's Oscar buzz before shooting even begins. This once-in-a-lifetime project could catapult them both to new heights, but can they put the past behind them for the sake of the film, for the sake of something more? Kennedy Ryan writes love that heals, love that's complicated and messy and real. I cannot wait for this one. Big Girl Blitz by Danielle Allen. This is the third and final book in Danielle's Curve series, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to this world, but I'm so ready for Jasmine's story. Jasmine Payne fled her hometown the minute she graduated high school, leaving behind the fat phobes who made her life hell. Her haven was always her Aunt Addison, and when her health takes a drastic turn, she insists Jazz should spice up her life. Emphasis on spice. But dating is the last thing on Jazz's mind, until Lamar Anderson sits next to her at the local sports bar. He's sexy, fun, and refreshingly drama-free. With him, she can pretend everything is all right. But as real life intrudes, Jazz has to decide if she can leave the past where it belongs for a love she deserves. Danielle Allen writes plus-size Black women who are unapologetically confident, desired, and centered. Her books remind us that we deserve love that sees us fully and chooses us completely.
Hey girl, hey. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you sign up for our occasional newsletter and join our community at culturelitpodcast.com, where we share book reviews. You can interact with our guests and you'll have a chance to tell me your story and be a part of our community. That's culturelitpodcast.com. Now back to the show.
Struck Speechless by Tati Richardson. Book 2 in the Boss Chicks Village series, and I am here for it. Jackie Miles is a petite powerhouse sports agent who's built her empire on killer instinct, designer stilettos, and tough skin. Aside from her French bulldog Pee-wee and her boss chick village, she's perfectly content flying solo. Then Antonio Steele, the towering former football star turned rival agent, walks back into her life and all hell breaks loose. Just when Jackie thinks she can handle their explosive chemistry, and complicated past, she mysteriously loses her voice. A cryptic stranger's message implies she must quiet her tongue and listen with her heart to lift the spell. With a career-defining client trip to Mexico looming and only the devastatingly handsome Antonio as backup, Jackie must learn to let go, if only she could trust him to catch her. This magical realism meets romance setup has me absolutely intrigued. The Missed Connection by Tia Williams. Tia Williams is one of my all-time favorite authors, and this premise is everything. Sasha Cruz is a booked and busy casting agent who's always casting. At happy hour, the post office, everywhere. She's all about finding the perfect person for the perfect role. What she doesn't do? Relationships. Too much energy, not enough time. But when she's seated next to a mysterious, broodingly handsome Italian man on a flight to Paris, sparks fly. They miss the chance to exchange contact information, and now Sasha is convinced she's lost her soulmate. She enlists help to find CDF, but accidentally emails the entire global company. Colleagues around the world begin looking for him too, with some finding love along the way. Meanwhile, Sasha hires a smoldering detective who complicates matters in unforeseen ways. This intensely romantic, deliciously sexy tale about searching for connection in unexpected places sounds absolutely perfect. Don't Tell Me How It Ends by Adrienne Thurman. This sparkling debut asks, can we protect ourselves while falling in love? Kaya Harper may not have a plan for her life, but she knows what she won't be doing, falling for somebody's dusty son and promising forever. She'd rather spend the summer after college having disappointing one-night stands and watching crime show reruns. At least she knows how those stories end. But when her very pregnant and newly single sister calls for help, Kaya stumbles back home and into her sister's matchmaking business. If becoming the inaugural client can distract her from, what am I even doing with my life? She'll suffer through a few bad dates. When Ro Jackson finds Kaya stalled on the side of the road, his steady disposition is exactly what she needs, a friend who can handle her just as she is. But as Ro talks Kaya through a summer of failed matches, she finds herself drawn to more than just his friendship. Kaya will have to decide what's more important, needing to know the end of every story or jumping into the unknown. This one sounds hilarious and heartfelt. And rounding out my most anticipated list, The Art of Loving You by Natasha Bishop, Hearts on the Fly by Tony Shiloh, A Love Worth Forever by Brianne Donai, Skate Till You Make It by Rufaro Faith Mazarura, Break Up for Two by E.M. Wilson, The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Forrest, Like a Summer Love Song by Naima Simone, Rich and Rotten by Jaquel J. So that's my wellness journey and my Black romance reading intentions for 2026. The thread connecting them? Joy, intentionality, the refusal to shrink myself or my dreams. I'm choosing books that make me feel good. I'm choosing practices that support my healing. I'm choosing to trust my instincts even when my mind is still catching up. And I'm choosing to believe that rest is resistance, joy is revolutionary, and love for ourselves and for each other is always worth it. I'd love to hear what you're most excited to read in 2026. What's on your TBR? What wellness practices are you exploring? Come find me on Threads or Instagram at Becoming Octavia, and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Culture Lit or share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Until next time, keep reading, keep resting, and keep choosing joy. The world needs your story.
You've been listening to Culture Lit with Octavia Marie, and that's all for us this week. Be sure to listen, download, or subscribe to more episodes of Culture Lit. You can find Culture Lit on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple listeners, please be sure to leave a review and let us know what you think. Don't forget to talk to me on social or share your Black love stories at Becoming Octavia Marie on Instagram or XO Octavia Marie on Twitter